Hello everyone and welcome to my memory plan for the week commencing January 24th. I must apologise, I don't know where the footage went for my usual little flick through of the kit, and that's a bit of a shame because this really is a beautiful kit. It's from Sadies Stickers. It came in the advent calendar box and it came with the sticker kit as well as an add-on sheet with some florals and also some little boxes and little paint swatch type of designs and so on, as you'll see me use through the spread. I've pulled in a few extra bits and pieces here and there just to bulk it out, but you can pretty well see that I didn't have to do a lot of that because, as with all Sadie Stickers kits, there was ample boxes and lots of beautiful things to use. The hardest part is making the choice of what to use. So I hope you join me for this memory plan with me. I'm just speeding you through the laying down of the boxes, and then I will come back and join you for the plans. Starting on the top of Monday, I used a little Miss and Meow pet sampler that I've had from a previous kit but worked beautifully with this kit, and I've used a little bit of the floral that came from the deco sheet that was also with this kit, and just marked at the top there that I was starting leave on this day. I've had a couple of years of the pandemic affecting the leave that we could take, myself and our staff at the clinic, and now that things are starting to settle down a little bit and a little bit of normality is on the horizon, it was the ideal time to try and have a break. As it turned out, it didn't end up being a particularly restful holiday, as a few things happened along the way to change that outcome, but that's okay. That's the way things go sometimes, and you'll see that unfold through the week with me. Then heading down underneath the leave sticker, I've taken some more floral and used that on one of the quarter boxes from the kit, and just noted on there that I needed to do 3 hours of work on this morning. It was just a matter of timing. I had a new registrar starting, and normally we get their provider number quite a few weeks in advance of their commencing, but there had been some delays at Medicare, and it meant that we didn't get it until late, and I really needed to get this doctor established in our system. There's quite a few things that have to be put together so that they can work fairly seamlessly, and so that required me jumping into my emails, even though I was planning to be on leave. It was just one of those things. So I took that morning to establish that new provider number and get our doctor into the system. And yeah, that took roughly about 3 hours. So while it wasn't the ideal start to a break, it was fine. I got the work done that I needed to get done, and it's always nice to work from home because it's a very quiet environment, unlike the busyness of the clinic. Underneath where I wrote the emails, I used a half box and made note on there that it was the new registrar starting and that I needed to sort out the provider numbers and so on. I used a stethoscope this came from the kit, and I added that to the half box. Above the half box, I have used a small divider, and I put it over a flourish, or rather a floral, from the sampler. That floral was really too big and it swallowed up the divider, but I did have a little attempt to change it and they didn't want to part from one another, so I was stuck with it and I had to be content with that. But normally the dividers look much better if they are a little longer and the floral behind them is a little softer. But lesson learned, that's fine, something that I'll take care of next time. Then popping down underneath that half box, I have used a couple of flag and a little corner scallop from the kit, and noted on there that I needed to have my usual or regular mammogram, all the joys of being female, and I wrote that appointment down there with a 3:20 time slot, and used a little bow just to add a little bit of foil into the corner of that sticker. Because the full box had a bit of room down the bottom which was a blank area, I normally don't go into the full boxes, but on this occasion I decided to do that. I used the little sampler that had the paint swatches on it. They're on a transparent mat, and I noted on there that I had a partners meeting. Ordinarily I might not necessarily go to that meeting while I'm on leave, but on this occasion, because there was a little bit to do, we had a bit going on, it seemed like the right thing to do, so we did go ahead with that meeting on this evening. Heading across onto Tuesday morning, I've taken some florals from that paper crown sampler that I added to this kit. I'm really loving her beautiful floral decos lately. She's done quite a range of colours, and I've actually downloaded all of them because they're just such a treat to use, and they seem to be the perfect addition to just about any kit, to bring in that bit of extra floral that I really love to use. I just noted on there that the following morning I got up and did a little bit more of my emails. I needed to check on some of the things I'd sent out previously to make sure that that all the processes were in place, and I was waiting on some returns and acknowledgements to my emails. So I did mark that. And then, unfortunately, the week started off pretty ordinary with me breaking a tooth. It was actually a molar, one of my larger teeth. Very frustrating. I bit on something and I could feel a little piece of it breaking off. So I needed to make an appointment to get that fixed. I was a little bit surprised that in the process of trying to make the appointment, I had to wait for a while to get to see a dentist. In the end, I got an emergency appointment, but it was looking, without that emergency appointment, it'd been quite a long time before I could get it fixed. And I'm always conscious about trying to get those things fixed as soon as you do them. Otherwise, they tend to evolve into larger situations. The tooth icon that I used is from Christine's Paper Studio, which is sadly closed, but there are many icons of that nature that are readily available on the market. And the little dividers, the little tiny fine sort of beaded dividers that I've used there are from Paper Trail Plans. She does them in the width of the box, which is about 1.5, and she also does the long ones that I've been enjoying using in the bottom washi. Underneath that lovely little bathtub sticker, I have used a half box from the kit and some more florals, and I've just noted on there that I did lots of printing and cutting. It's rare to get a full day like this in my craft room to produce these sorts of things, and so I made the most of it and spent the majority of the day printing a whole lot of things and getting them ready, mainly foiled items that I was getting ready to put through the foiling machine. And then I used a silhouette machine icon from Crafts by Thaowie, and that's always, her icons are just beautiful. They are a perfect match for just about anything that you do. And then finally, to top off the day, I used one of the small square stickers from the kit, added a little bit of that pretty floral from Paper Crown Planner, and marked on there that I watched Ash Barty. Part of the timing for my leave was so that I can enjoy the Australian Open. I really do enjoy the tennis. It's good. I loved playing it, and now I love watching it. It's been a bit controversial, of course, with the situation with Djokovic, and I like watching him too. It's a shame that he wasn't in it, but such is life. The television icon that I've used there is from the kit, and I also used the other end of that little divider. So heading across onto Wednesday and the last day of this half of the week, I've started off with one of the little flourish dividers and put that at the top of the page. I went down underneath that and using one of the half scallops from the kit and a by Sharina Jane script, I marked that it was Australia Day, and I've also used some floral from the paper crown planner sheet. The whole household on this morning had a bit of a sleep in, and I've marked that with one of my favourite stickers from Mr. and Mrs. Mint, the little sleeping pillow and sleeping script, with a lovely box from roughly a quarter box from the kit. And then underneath that, with the late get up, we headed out to have an early lunch just locally, and with myself, my husband, and my son. And it seems like perhaps on this day his girlfriend would have been working. And then in the afternoon I've used one of those paint swatches again that came from the little sampler, a little telephone icon. And the telephone icon came from the kit, and I just marked on there using a little bit of floral from the paper crown planner sheet and marked that call down. Unfortunately, my friend is not particularly well. She's just ringing to talk about the treatment she was heading into in the next couple of weeks, which is never a good thing, but hopefully she will be in good hands and things will have a positive outcome for her. Then underneath that, I just marked with a flag from the kit and a couple of little shopping bags also from the kit that Paper Crown Planner had added to her deco and some of her bits and pieces, her printables, and I did those downloads on this evening. And that formed the first half of the week. So now it's time to head across onto Thursday and start the plans for the second half of the week. On this day, I had an early morning meeting. It was unavoidable. It's something that I'd already planned the leave, but this had come up during the week and it was not something to be put off. It was a fairly important meeting. So we headed off to the boardroom at the centre that that our clinic is in, and we had the meeting on this morning. And I've used again a pen and what looks like a little spiral notebook, and with a lovely floral sticker from the kit. In between that and underneath the sticker I've put a flourish, another one of those flourishes that I've been using through the kit, and I also marked with a little square sticker that I had been working on some lace boards. I've got some lace that I would like to move out of a plastic container and make it more decorative with some beautiful lace boards that I have got from Shabby Art Boutique, and I'm planning on I've sort of played around with those designs a little bit and set them up so that I can cut them on the silhouettes. I'm quite looking forward to using those. Then underneath the full box I used a little notched, probably a third size box from the kit, and I was doing some more designing, and I designed a little perfume bottle to use to make an icon from. And part of my leave, that was one of the things that I managed to get done, even though the time had been rather interrupted here and there. I got some things done and some designing done during that time, which was really nice. Then popping down under there, I've used a quarter box from the kit with a little bit of foiling on it, and just marked that we had a team member test positive, and at this stage the restrictions were such that they needed to isolate for the week, and that was what she did. And fortunately, because we've got things in place so that we can practice remotely, she was able to do that, and she did feel a little unwell towards the end of the week and took the weekend to try and get on top of things. And then the last thing for the end of Thursday, using a small, almost like a little things from the kit, was I noted that we had Berwick tie, and I used that lovely wine bottle. It's one of my favourite ways to relax. I normally like to do that on a Friday night or perhaps on the weekend, but given that it was holidays, it was a little bit earlier in the week, and it's probably my favourite, well, it is actually my favourite Thai shop, and I really love Thai with a nice glass of chilled white wine, and that's my idea of a perfect Friday night to top off the week, or in this case Thursday. Heading across on to Friday morning, I have used a large area there to show that I needed to tidy up the stickers that I had been using. My craft room was a bit of a mess, so I've used a Crafts by Thaowie planner cart, and I've laid this over a flag from the kit and some florals, and then underneath that I have used another My Spoiled planner flourish, similar to the ones that I have been using. I then went underneath with one of the quarter-ball third boxes from the kit and noticed that noted that I had a dentist appointment at 2 o'clock this day. It was looking to be pretty horrible. The clouds were filling, they were very black and looking ominous, and interestingly enough, while I had my head under the lights at the dental surgery, the clinic was being flooded, and a massive amount of rain came across the car park, hit our electronic doors, opened them, and it was like the staff that were there described it as a little mini tsunami. Finishing off the day, I have taken one of the little scalloped quarter box stickers from the kit and used a script from Paper Trail Plans, which marked a YouTube binge. It had been a pretty full-on day, pretty hectic day, and the best way to do that was to just unwind, and that was exactly what I did at the end of the day. The centre operations team brought in a lot of blowers, so the clinic was now blasting away like a 747 in an attempt to get it as dry as possible. So heading across onto Saturday morning, I have used one of the half scallops from the kit and a couple of little icons from Christine's Paper Studio just to mark a sleep in, plus a little bit of extra foliage there above that sticker. Underneath the sleep in, I have marked using a pretty pink desk setup that I did lots of designing. I was catching up a little bit on what I had planned to do with my week off, or at least for a couple of days of my week off, and they had been interrupted somewhat. And then we just had a very lazy lunch this day and nicked out and got some hot dogs and some donuts. Underneath that pretty full box, I have used another one of those swatches in a slightly different shape, and a sticker from Mum and Me Handmade Designs, which has got Happy Mail on it, and an icon from Paper Trail Plans, which is the Happy Mail envelope with some floral coming out of it. And on this particular day, I got, actually I'd got it the day before, but I hadn't opened it yet. And this was a delivery from Stella Beau Stickers, and it was food icons, and that's the hot dog that I used up the top is similar to that, some pizza and just some takeaway type of things. Then underneath that, with a large piece of the floral to one side, I've used a flag and a Crafts by Thaowie tennis racket to indicate that Ash Barty won the women's final of the Australian Open, which was super exciting. She strikes me as being an amazing sport and a wonderful ambassador for the game. It certainly doesn't hurt that she's a Richmond supporter, as am I, so that's just a little bit of a bonus, but she's just an amazing tennis player, and I was very, very excited for her win. Popping across onto Sunday, I marked the first thing with sorting out the flood, so I needed to head down to the clinic this morning to see how the dryers were progressing and if we were heading on the right track. We'd started with a couple and then realised that we were going to need a few more, so the centre brought in a lot more, and I didn't think we could get much more air in there, but we did, and it was coming along really well. And I also noted in my planner that one of the team members from our group. I mean, they are all a terrific group of people, but one of the girls in particular had really helped me out over this weekend and this sort of 4 or 5 day period where the flood was being sorted out, and she was just a great champion. She knew that I was coming from a greater distance, and she lived locally within a few minutes away actually, and but nevertheless, even though she lives close, it doesn't mean that her time is at my disposal. But on this weekend she went above and beyond, and I was really very grateful for her assistance. So we just went down, met up with the contractors that were looking after the clinic, and made sure we were happy with how it was progressing, and left them there for the day. We needed to give them a key and so on, and Julie was going to follow up with them further into the day if necessary. After leaving the clinic, I headed home and caught up with a couple of family members for lunch at one of the local cafes, and I've used a third box from the kit which had a little bit of the floral deco on it, and I've also used the icon from the kit which had the knife and fork with a napkin, and that was how I indicated that we had had lunch on this day. Underneath that lunch sticker, I've used another third box from the kit, added a little bit of the floral to it, and a telephone just to mark that I rang the partners, or I actually just sent a message, but it was a fairly long message, just to catch them up and so that they were aware of everything that was going on at the clinic and how we were progressing. The telephone icon that I've used there was from by Sharina Jane. And then just underneath that, to finish off a really good weekend of tennis, Rafa won the Australian Open. It was a pretty grueling match and lots of amazing value, and he's quite a popular player in our house, so everybody was pretty thrilled to see him win that. And that finished off, as I said, a great weekend. I'm sorry, I'm not quite sure where the footage went to, where I was going to show you what was left over from the kit. I did manage to use quite a bit of it, which is something I've been trying to do lately. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to come back for the next one. Bye for now.